Hi, this is Dawn. Today's Soul Simple Life Shift is all about moving from an idea that there is one way to arrive at truth, our soul's truth and radiance, the truth, ultimate reality or truth, and shifting into a broader perspective that there are many pathways and that will lead us to the experience of truth as it resonates for us in terms of our own soul's truth and radiance, our own unique journeys, and also as it relates to what is truth, the big question, right? And I'm not going to go too deeply into that, but what I want to share here just today as a perspective, a way of seeing it, is that in the past, how we've done this before is there's the truth, and there's one way to get to that truth in particular, domains of life or whatever. But generally speaking, there's like a standard, this is the way you do it. And now we are being invited to a whole new way forward where we can see that there are actually many pathways into that stream of truth. There is an opportunity for us to reframe how we are looking at awakening to truth, both internally and externally. Truth within our souls, and the truth as we feel it, know it, believe it to be, and then the externally in terms of the truth about what's at the bottom of everything, like in society, in our world, for humanity, on the more collective level. But what I want to explore here, another way to look at this, so there are again many pathways that can lead us into that truth, is the reframe. But what I want to share is the way that I like to think of this. I'm very drawn to the imagery of rivers that run to the sea. And so the way that my soul has always connected to this more open way of viewing, returning to truth, the truth of who we are, the truth that is at the foundation of everything that's covered up, societally, is I like to look at it as many rivers flow. There's one sea, one ocean, and the rivers all connect back to that sea or that ocean. So we individually are one river, or you could say we in various groups or ways of being that, we move in and out of in a number of ways in the course of our lives. That's one river, one stream. And those rivers and streams, generally speaking, will lead us back to the sea. Now, it's interesting because you can go down a rabbit hole here, because some of the rivers, of course, are corrupted or distorted or going to lead us to a dead end, a dry desert experience. And yet, that too can lead us back to truth because it will present us with the opposite of it. Does that make sense? I hope so. So I like to think of this as many rivers flow, and they lead us back ultimately to that truth within us. And as we are engaging with others and bringing intellect and intuition to the truth, broadly speaking. So the shift is, again, from one way to truth to there are many ways to that truth. And the Soul Simple life practice, or the invitation here, is what I refer to as walking in the way. Walking in the way of your life, walking in the way of a particular chosen pathway of expressing yourself, or a particular experience. In other words, being with it, being present, staying with what is, learning from everything that presents, shifting when that feels aligned for you, and most importantly, turning toward the new way of seeing things, new way of seeing, new way of being, new way of freeing yourself, that begins with this idea that there actually is no wrong path, because every path, even if it leads you to the opposite of what you have desired, there is a great learning to be gleaned from that path. There is always your choice to reorient yourself to truth. Okay, so this is not it. So then you take another path. You immerse yourself in a new river. So again, many rivers flow. There are many pathways to truth, to experience your own soul's truth and radiance from within, and then to make your way to truth, or make our way to truth collectively. So I just wanted to touch on that today. Again, the practice is walking in the way of your life, walking in the way of being the creators of a new society and a new era rich in love, making this passage by choosing to stand in the stream of your life, to walk in the way of your life, to be the river. So I just wanted to present those as core concepts as it pertains to this lifelong journey of awakening. So these first two videos here have just been about, like, how do you see and engage with this idea of awakening? And so what I'm hope that I'm conveying is that when we open it up and make it less rigid and less, point A, B, C, and I've arrived, and more of an organic process that takes the pressure off. And particularly in today's video, when we can just take a few steps back and see that it's okay. So you took a wrong turn. You have learned, you can readjust. You are still walking in the way of your life as long as you don't let go of that, as long as you don't release your own sovereignty and power, which we will talk about in a different video. So this is all about considering how it is you are seeing the connections to truth internally and externally, and truth as it relates to awakening to the fullness of who you are and why you are here. And truth itself is something that we probably will revisit in a different video, because of course I'm sure that this is bringing up questions about, like, what is truth, and is there one truth, or are there just multiple perspectives? And there are many ways of looking at that as well. So again, a lot of these concepts that I'm sharing have layers to them, and I really want to encourage you to go deeper on your own with these layers. So take the questions, keep a journal, have a journal or a notebook, and just write down the questions, that come from what I'm saying, or that as you're considering this concept for yourself. And it may be that you actually, again, disagree with something that I'm presenting. Good. Stay with that, because that informs something about your own journey, your own soul's truth and radiance, and it will lead you forward. And as you are walking in the way of your life, as you are immersing yourself in the streams of your soul, and as you are finding a whole new way forward in your life and your life's work, and then collectively sharing, coming together with others to do the same, you are awakening more and more and more, and you are gaining greater clarity about what this awakening is teaching you of your truth and the truth, if you will, and how it is leading you home. I think of that kind of that sea or the ocean that the many rivers flow to. I think of that as coming home fully to ourselves and to a place of residing in what feels aligned and lifting, raising all things into the realm of radiance, where we collectively experience a reality where we are awake and always awakening to the highest harmonic for humanity and the most resonant, true experience of our souls individually and then collectively.